would have given Mike Pence the excuse to throw out those states and thus hand the election to Trump. But of course, the plan required election officials in those states to go along. You know, I was a young man of 59 when I started using the term slow-moving coup. And it pains me to have to report it's still moving.
Election deniers comprised 58% of Republican Secretary of State candidates in 2022. Bill Maher says that's just the beginning of Trump's 2024 agenda. And guess what? The orange turd is fuming over the dismal election results of his MAGA allies. They have not fared well, as patriots all across the country have rejected their radical ways. Maher talks about a slow-moving coup. Sounds like a sloth convention, right? It's far more serious. Trump wants to win the 2024 election with his master plan. It's not pretty. Before we continue, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Trump's lies must be exposed, and the best way to spread that message to undecided voters before the November election is to spread videos like this to sway the election away from Trump and help preserve democracy. Don't forget to do your patriotic duty. Remember Trump's 2020 meltdown after losing. He's been busy since then, scheming retribution for losing his favorite toy. He's placed loyalists in important positions nationwide. Like political Jenga, he stacks his followers instead of eliminating blocks. Trump's 2020 plan is worth discussing. Remember the Eastman memo, the blueprint for Donnie Diaper's attempt to alter the election results faster than he flips his toupee in a strong breeze. Just like his horrendous hairstyle, his election-stealing scheme is a really bad look. This memo wasn't just an ordinary piece of paper. It resembled how to overthrow democracy for dummies. The grand plan, say 7 states had competing electors and attempted to overthrow the results of a fair and free election. It's like saying, we don't like these votes, so we'll use these others. Classy, right? What else would you expect from Donald Trump? There's more. Mike Pence was important to the memo's overall plan. Yes, old crazy Mike Pence, who actually seemed to gain common sense towards the end of Trump's presidency. Pence was supposed to leverage his power as vice president to throw out Trump's losing ballots. You can't help but wonder what was going through the mind of Mike Pence at the time. Does he betray the trust of his country and democracy, or does he stay loyal to someone like Donald Trump, who must have been very difficult to work for, as Trump seems to be unhinged at all times? You may be wondering, did this actually work? Trump's "let's pretend democracy doesn't exist"
blueprint prepared for Trump on how he could steal the election after he lost it in November 2020. It outlined a plan for overturning the election. Trump will run in 2024. He will get the Republican nomination. And whatever happens on election night, the next day he will announce that he won.
Game didn't appeal to most Republican election officials. Even Republicans, it seems, can have a conscience when it matters most. Pence chose not to be remembered as the man who murdered democracy. I know, shocking. Pence defied Trump's how to be a good little puppet and performed his job. He declared Joe Biden's triumph faster than "you're fired." Trump was furious. He threw a tantrum which had never been seen before. We are still seeing the results from this tantrum even 4 years after the fact. Even Facebook and Twitter had to give Trump the axe, as his post would have likely driven the country into a second civil war. Thankfully, the executives at the social media companies had a brain at that crucial moment. The catch: Trump's not done. Bill Maher claims the Orange Menace has been planning his next takeover after leaving office. His preparations resemble the Olympics of election stealing. Trump has been working harder than a cat attempting to bury crap on a marble floor to gain state-level support for round 2, Maher says, because nothing says "I love America" like overthrowing democracy, right? This little how not to accept losing adventure taught us what? Indeed, several Republicans seem to have limits on their support for Trump. Who knew? Second, doing the right thing in politics can happen sometimes. I'm as surprised as you. What's the Orange Turd's 2024 plan? Bill Maher's juicy revelations are as appealing as a stale cheeseburger left in Mar-a-Lago's sun. According to Maher, Trump is running again and intends to win, whatever voters' opinions, like Monopoly with the banker, dice, and properties. Fair? Donnie Diapers. Who needs fair? Maher predicts Trump will win the Republican nomination faster than, yes, you know. However, Trump will declare victory even if he loses, similar to a youngster exclaiming, "I won," after knocking over the Candyland board, except this toddler has nuclear codes and a horrible spray tan. There's more. Grumpy Trump is cleaning house in the GOP. Maher said Trump is methodically purging the Republican Party of anyone who voted for his impeachment or doesn't agree that he's the rightful leader. Recall Liz Cheney? Anthony Gonzalez?
Some presidents spend their post presidency building homes for the poor or raising money for charity or painting their toes. Trump has spent his figuring out how to pull off the coup he couldn't pull off last time.
The GOP now welcomes them like a vegan at a Texas BBQ. Trump is filling his party with yes men who will say the sky is orange if he says so. Trump's not done. He's thinking bigger. Maher cautions that Trump is eyeing state-level appointments. Remember those dull occupations nobody cares about until Election Day? Yes, those. Of the 15 Republicans running for Secretary of State in key battleground states, only 2 concede that Biden won the 2020 election. This is like stating only 2 of 15 flat earthers think the world is round. If not so scary, it'd be humorous. Remember Brad Raffensperger, the guy who refused to find 11,000 Trump votes in Georgia? Maher says he won't be there next time. It's like Trump's playing electoral whack-a-mole, but with real people instead of fake moles. Trump will have more adherents than a dictator's birthday party by 2024. These stooges, as Maher called them, will shout fraud faster than Trump can tweet rigged election. Donnie Diapers is now a chess master, not just a checker player. He moves laws and lackeys instead of pawns and knights. What's his goal? Definitely not world peace. Remember Trump's memorable call to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger? The one where he begged for votes like a kid for extra Halloween candy. According to Bill Maher, Trump is ensuring no more Raffenspergers will refuse him. He's doing it how? Of course, by changing the rules. Trump and his allies are rewriting state election rules over time. That's like attempting to write a choose-your-own-adventure book where Trump wins every time. Funny how that works? The big plan? To let Republican-led state legislatures certify elections instead of pesky, non-partisan election officials. Why bother with fairness when you can bend the rules to your advantage? There's more. Trump is changing laws and faces. Maher notes that only 2 of 15 Republican candidates for Secretary of State in battleground states acknowledge Biden's 2020 victory.
I've been saying ever since he lost, he's like a shark that's not gone, just gone out to sea. But actually, he's been quietly eating people this whole time. He's already bowed out for running for re-election because he can see opposing Trump means you have no chance.
2. Trump has modified his story regarding the 2020 election more than that. These people would count votes in 2024. Putting the orange fox in charge of the henhouse with a horrible toupee is like that. Trump didn't merely watch Fox News and propose Republican control over result certification. It's part of a strategy. Maher argues Trump is seeking to place loyal minions in critical positions to support his claims and overturn 2024 election results. He seems to be forming his own yes-man army to agree with him. Remember the Republican Party's purge. Anyone who opposed Trump or supported his impeachment. They're getting fired faster than you can say you're fired to make place for obedient candidates who'll nod to grumpy Trumpy. So Trump's state-level chess maneuvers were revealed. He's altering laws, replacing officials, and building a Trumpier Republican Party. His goal seems to be to build his own Trumptopia where the rules are made and votes don't matter. However, while Trump plays 4D chess with our democracy, we worry if we'll recognize the game when he's done. It makes you want to flip the board and start over. At least we can joke about it after balling into our I voted stickers. Maher's 2025 warning is scarier than Trump's Hurricane Comb over. So batten down the hatches. We thought 2020 was a mess. Maher says that was the warm-up. Why is our favorite late-night truth teller upset? It's not just Trump's ego. Real-world catastrophe is possible. Maher's 2025 is less hail to the chief and more the purge election year. Maher predicts 2024 election night.
Trump famously called the Republican in charge of elections in Georgia, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, and told him he just needed to find an additional 11,000 Trump votes. Trump is going to call on in 2024 when he's a few votes short, and these people are going to give it to him.
Warning, it's ugly. He alleges that Trump will always win. Stunning, right? About as surprising as water being wet. Here's the kicker. Maher warns that 21 million Americans think it's legitimate to use force to reinstall Trump. That's more people than Florida. Imagine Florida man armed and enraged. There's more. Maher has a 2025 Inauguration Day apocalypse scenario. Imagine 2 presidents awaiting inauguration. It's like a horrible version of The Parent Trap, But with presidential rivals instead of beautiful twins, I assure you, we can't reduce the White House in half. Remember January 6th? That'll be a kiddie pool party compared to 2025, says Maher. He predicts 10 million Trump supporters will enter D.C., some armed and ready to fight. MAGA caps and grievances replace peace and love at Woodstock. However, violence is not the only concern. Maher also warns of economic turmoil. He argues political instability might scare the stock market more than a hedge fund ghost. We're talking massive economic depression before Inauguration Day, so start saving pennies immediately, guys. Maher ends his pessimistic forecast with a quip. Bill says, "I hope I scare the crap out of you. Mission accomplished. We're officially frightened." However, Maher isn't simply attempting to scare us. He wants to wake us. He seems to be shaking America by the shoulders. "Pay attention," he shouts. "This isn't a drill." So what's the lesson? Well, 2025 may be the year democracy takes a bad roller coaster ride.
Republicans win big. Why? Because the out-of-power party always does in a country where the electorate can't think past throw the bums out. 2023, Trump announces his candidacy and starts having large rallies across the country, which become increasingly angry and threatening.
It makes you want to throw up and reassess your life choices. At least we were warned. Maher explained everything as clearly as Trump's spray tan. Now we must decide how to use that information. Will we listen, or will we keep browsing through our phones thinking everything's fine? If Maher's right, we're in for a wild trip. Maybe it's time to put down the popcorn and focus. If Trump gets his way, 2025 might be the year American democracy shouts, "Adios, amigos." That's scarier than any Hollywood horror film. We've seen Trump's 2024 playbook, so why are people keep supporting him? Hold on to your MAGA hats, folks, because Bill Maher is about to deliver some truth bombs that may spin your head. I understand your thoughts. How can anyone support Donnie Diapers after all his antics? Maher's surprise answers will make you go, huh, faster than Trump can tweet. Witch hunt. Start with a real quandary. While roasting Trump like a Thanksgiving turkey, Maher stated, "I am not blind to Donald Trump's faults. I get why people choose to vote for him. Are MAGA zombies stealing Maher's body? Here's the twist. Maher said Trump is conservatives' human shield against the left's flaws. Trump is like their personal bouncer excluding liberal ideas. Let's discuss why some Trump supporters remain. When was the economy running smoothly? Trump kept inflation at 1.3%. Now? Yes, over 4%. Higher than Trump's IQ. Possibly a low bar. This inflation isn't just a spreadsheet statistic for economists. It's hurting wallets, groceries, housing, automobiles, petrol, and even Trump's favorite greasy fast food, all rising in price. Putting the economy on a seesaw puts us all on the wrong end. Maher told of a military family of 6 living paycheck to paycheck and in the red before our next check hits the bank. Yikes. That's scarier than Trump's windstorm comb-over. This is where it gets strange. Maher believes Americans think they're fine, but the economy is tanking. Sometimes people live in their own bubble on social media and don't see the world as it truly is, outside their own personal delusion. Trump's other hits are worth remembering. He first raised concerns about border security and peace through strength in international affairs. Call him what you want, but he picks hot topics that really get Americans passionate, even if it is sometimes the wrong thing. That's it, folks. Some find Trump as enticing as a dumpster fire, but others see him as their knight in shining armor or orange spray tan.
Knock the crap out of them.
They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks.
Throw them the hell out.
Like to punch him in the face.
You know, I know the Hitler analogy is over the top in many ways. It is. I don't think Trump hates Jews. There are too many rich ones.
He protects them from the left, saves the economy, and secures their borders and planet. Should we all board the Trump train? Definitely not. However, knowing why some people still wave MAGA flags may improve our interactions, give us new political comedic material. Regardless, saddle up. This roller coaster trip continues. We've seen Trump's 2024 master plan. What if some people want this orange nightmare back in the White House? Yes, it's hard to believe. Bill Maher, our favorite political comedian, has been investigating why people embrace the tangerine terror. Hold on before you start throwing rotten tomatoes at your screen. Believe it or not, Maher argues we can't dislike Trump supporters. Yeah, right? Same as arguing we can't condemn somebody for putting pineapple on pizza. However, Maher is right. He remarked, "I am not blind to Donald Trump's faults. I get why people choose to vote for him. It's like finally admitting that your rival sports team isn't the worst around when they finally make the playoffs. Painful, but necessary. Just what's up. Who wants Donnie Diapers back in charge? Some call him a bulwark against the nonsense on the left. That's new. I always saw him as a stinking boil, but hey, to each their own. Let's discuss what's actually bothering folks. The economy. Remember when Trump was president and inflation was 1.3%? The rate is presently over 4%. That raises prices for groceries, homes, automobiles, petrol, and even Trump's favorite greasy fast food. Even military families are struggling. One family of 6 lives paycheck to paycheck and is in the red before our next check hits the bank. Yikes, that's scarier than Trump's windstorm comb-over. The kicker, Biden is being blamed for this debacle. Their empty wallets make them think, hey, maybe that orange guy wasn't so bad after all. It's like choosing between a root canal and a stubbed toe. Though neither is fantastic, one hurts less. It goes beyond money. Some people still want Trump's wall. Mexico was meant to pay for? Yes, the one. Some preferred keeping bad hombres out. Who knew racism was so popular? Also, peace through strength. Trump was thought to have kept the world in check by being Trump, like having a violent chihuahua as a guard. Though little and orange, it's erratic enough to keep everyone guessing. That's it. People want Trump back. They believe he can solve the economy, secure the border, and control the world, not because they like his little hands or word salad speeches.
21 million believe force is justified to restore Trump to office. A majority want to secede, whatever the hell that would entail. But even if they win, Trump won't accept it. But this time, his claims of illegal voting by immigrants or mail-in ballots coming in after the deadline or the system was hacked by Venezuela. Arizona and Wisconsin both send a slate of bogus Trump electors, setting up a showdown on January 6th and daring Kamala Harris to do what Trumpers wanted Mike Pence to do.
Hiring a bull to run a china shop to keep plates from falling off the shelves is like that. Maher argues that we can't dismiss these people as crazy. We must comprehend their attraction to the orange menace. Studying a car crash is terrifying, yet vital to prevent it. Donnie Diapers plays 4D chess while we figure out checkers. But what does this signify for our precious democracy? We'll find out, Buttercup, so buckle up. Trump's 2020 and 2024 strategies should be compared. He was like a toddler tossing spaghetti at the wall in 2020, hoping it stuck. Now, he's more like a scheming teen plotting to rig the school election. Instead of crying fraud after losing, he's starting his own electoral fraud factory before the vote. Maher revealed Trump's master strategy. It's like seeing your sibling open Christmas presents early. Now that the secret's out, will anything change? Will Trump supporters shrug and say, "Me, sounds good to us"? Interested in joining the fight to keep democracy alive and keep fascism out of the White House? If you are someone who is tired of the lies and flat-out disgusting behavior of certain politicians, join our mission by sharing this video and channel with everyone who needs to see the truth. Subscribe, hit that like button, and send this video to everyone who believes that nobody is above the law. The truth will always prevail. Stay calm, subscribe, and vote